So now we're gonna watch the cruel world of getting all 202 Platinum Relics in Crash Bandicoot, of course, by our lovely Caddicarus. Let's start.
And so I said to the vicar, I'm not a man, I'm hungry.
Oh yeah, here are the bricks.
I'm really starting to like you now, Bricks. I don't think I ever want to leave lockdown.
That's good because you can't.
Oh, hello, welcome to my show.
Hello.
I'm Caddy, and when I'm not busy committing treason in America...
Wait, what? He's an American traitor. Okay, that's good to
You'll
know.
most likely find me playing Crash Bandicoot games. yeah, that's all I ever do with my life. I'm either playing Crash or being an American traitor.
I know it's a perfect setting for an amazing life.
Love for the marsupial. I mean, last year I even did a video making a tier list rating all of his butts from every game he's been in. Terrible seat. But for anybody new,
I agree, that is a terrible seat. That is a seat from Crash Boom Bang. This is absolute dog
making a
shit.
tier list rating all of his butts from every game he's been in. Terrible seat. But for anybody new here, well, hi. On my channel in 2018, I decided to label every
Yeah, the
June of every
Bandicoot
year as
month.
Bandicoot Month, where my channel briefly goes on a Crash deviation to celebrate everything and anything to do with Crash. Including his buttocks. Creases. You see, if it weren't for Crash, I probably wouldn't be here making videos.
Actually, how many pronouns are to a butt? Wait, no, I didn't. Never mind.
Crash 3 Warped was the first game I ever played. It was the introduction into the games industry for me. And since then, I've followed Crash through thick and thin. Hence, I wanted to dedicate a whole month to talk about him. Okay, that video was late.
So yeah, even
Yeah,
though the
just a
world
little
is
bit.
still turned into bricks outside, that's not going to stop this train. So welcome, lumpies and germs, to Bandicoot Month 2020.
Oh wait, it was in 2020. Oh wow.
Why is it in June though? Pretty simple really. I was born in June 1994 and Crash 3 was the first video game I ever played. And then the Insane Trilogy
Yeah,
came out in June.
if I remember, Crash 3 was also the first game I'd ever played. I think I played when I was like, I think 4 years old? Somewhere around that. I actually don't remember anything. My parents just told me that that was the game I played when I was little.
2017, followed by Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled coming out in June 2019. Basically, the stars all align when it comes to the month of
Oh yeah,
June,
Crash
me,
Nitro
and
Fueled,
Crash
yeah.
Bandicoot.
Oh, that
I'm
was a
also
good
very
game.
aware that Bandicoot Month is not a very original name, but it's a lot better than Jundicoot. And God help us, we don't even talk about Bandicunt.
But with such a
Oh
glowing
god, that was,
appreciation
the last
for
one
the
will have been
orange
horrible.
rat, so too comes a desire to perfect his games. And yes, I have indeed broken all the boxes and found
Yeah, the
all of the
time
gems in all
trials.
of the games multiple
I-
times over.
I
and ticked over
played
the completion
different
percentage to a
Crash
1,000,000%
games.
more times than
I
turned a
never
box of
really
sharing
went for the
nuggets into a
time
box of
trials.
these are all mine nuggets. But throughout my countless replays
I
of Crash's
don't
games,
really
there's
know
one
why.
thing
I
I've
mean, I
neglected
guess they
to
were
touch
a
for
bit
years
too
and
hard
years,
back in the day, and I
until
just
now.
never really bothered doing them later on.
A few years ago, I uploaded this video to my channel.
Crash 1, I did it. Crash 2, I did it. Crash 3, I did it.
Yep, I got every single Platinum Time Trial relic in the classic Crash trilogy
That's
about
actually
a year
pretty
and a half
good.
ago. Back then,
I mean, he did
was very proud of
202,
myself.
so there is nothing
That
compared
pride
to
came at the
all
cost
these
of
free
my own
games.
sanity. And so, since I guess I never recovered, I thought I'd take it one step further and make a video talking about what I went through when I woke up one day and decided that all the Platinum Relics in the original trilogy wasn't enough. Welcome, everybody, to the time that I got.
Yeah,
But
this
first,
number
you
must
may
have
not even know what
updated
I'm talking
because
about, so here's
Crash
some
4
history.
released.
Crash
That was
Bandicoot 3
before
introduced
Crash
us to
4
the
began
concept of
released.
permanent power-ups for Crash,
Wait,
obtainable
I think
after
that's
beating
way long
each
before
boss
it
level,
released.
and
When
they
did
allowed
it
you to
even
revisit
release?
stages you missed collectibles in and use those new power-ups to reach them. It also gave you more unique ways to get through the levels in general and made some of the later stages more difficult to test your knowledge of these new abilities. At the end of the game though, you get all the crystals and fight to the death against the evil Ned Cortex, who falls down a big hole while dropping behind the final power-up, a new pair of Nikes. At face value, these seemed very unhelpful and pointless. I mean, I've already got some Adidas at home, especially
I mean, Come on, these are some nice free 90s. Come on, why not take them? You can, I guess, sell them to just some random person on the street.
Actually, when compared to a double jump or fruit bazooka, these seemed unnecessary and a bit of an anticlimactic reward for beating the game. But then, you go back into the earlier stages to grab the final collectibles you missed, and at the very start of the level, you see a weird-looking thing that looks like a rotting lemon. Curious, you touch it, and then... Whoa, what's this? Who blew that whistle? Why did the Wumpa fruit fly away? Why is there a timer? Does that mean I have to run? I'm gonna run, you know, I'm gonna run. Come on, Crash, dash away.
Yeah, that was basically my first reaction to the time trials.
Power-up, the time trials, and you are tasked with replaying every level as fast as humanly possible.
I was a little shit. I didn't know what was really going on.
You usually break for the clear gem get replaced with time crates that halt the clock for the amount of seconds.
The only real Crash game I remember vaguely playing was, I think,
who is leaving these boxes in the middle of Agrabah? After which, beating the best times of
I
each
think it
level
was
rewards you
the
with one of three
Crash
types
2
of relic,
when
a
I
new
emulated
collectible. The
it.
Sapphire Relic might as well be a participation certificate worthy of a single clap.
Well done. You tried.
They are the easiest to get by far and barely require much rushing at all to obtain them, so I suppose they're there to pat your children on the back. After this are the golden relics, a bit harder to get than Sapphire, but they are the bare minimum
Yeah, the
you
gold
need to
ones.
grab in order to
I
bump up
think
your final
in
completion
the
percentage
remakes
in order to get
of
the final
Crash
hidden
3,
gem
I
from
think I
Coco and
did the
complete the
gold
game.
ones
But
only
then-
just to get the completion.
But then there are the Platinum Time Trial relics.
And
These
yeah,
are another beast
our
entirely, and the
most
subject of today's
lovely
video.
Platinum
To get
relics.
the Platinum relics, it requires you to know the stage inside out. Not just the best routes to take for shortcuts across the terrain, but the best way to get around enemies, to exploit certain obstacle timings, to use all your power-ups, to pick up Aku Aku hit point masks and sacrifice them at the right moments while keeping him for other moments so that you can go invincible after you get 3 of him. It's more or less speed running as a standard gameplay mechanic. Oh, what's that, kids? You can't play that? Well,
Yeah,
tough
it's
shit. Go away.
it's
This orange
about
kite wasn't good
really
enough for you
abusing
anyway.
the mechanics of the
After
game
Crash 3,
with
the time
Platinum
trial
relics.
became a bit of a staple in most of the Crash games following afterwards, including Crash Team Racing. And hell, when the Insane trilogy came out, they even added time trial relics into Crash 1 and Crash 2,
the originals,
which originally didn't
the
have
1
them.
and 2.
But to this day, Crash fans remain divided about them. I mean, were they a cheap form of padding that were there to needlessly stretch out the games in a series that was losing ideas by game number 3? Or was this
I will
brand
be
new
honest, it's a
content worthy of your
introduction
time to
of
go
time
through
trials
and
was
added
a
even more
good idea
depth,
in my opinion.
replayability, and
Is it actually a
complexity
good
to the
way
future
to
games that
extend
included them?
a
Personally,
length of the
I'm
game
the
while
latter
giving
half
some kind of
this opinion.
challenge?
The time trial relics to me add even more depth
But
to
I would
replaying
like
the
if
same stages
Platinum
you
Relics
already
gave
finished,
something
because
more
you aren't
than
just going through it
nothing.
normally or
I
combing
mean,
your way
in
through it
Crash
slowly
4,
with
they
new
are
power-ups
required
to
for
find
completion.
collectibles. You're doing it all in a completely different way. It's almost like you're playing a totally different stage. Not to mention, the relics themselves aren't just a random optional collectible to flash your E-pin around to nobody because you're alone in your house. They contribute to game completion, not just for grabbing the final hidden gems, but also for unlocking access to secret levels that are only unlocked by grabbing a certain number of relics. Whether it's a secret platform that takes you to a secret warp room full of extra levels, or a new race that you have to beat to get the secret ending, the relics don't only provide a new level of difficulty to levels that you may have found too easy, but also give you access
I
to
actually
more
completed
content,
everything
which, in my
in
opinion,
Crash
is a
Team
better way
Racing
to
Nitro
unlock them
Fields.
instead of just having more levels with
Like
more
including
gems to
all the
grab. It's
Platinum
something
Relics,
different, you know,
all the
and
time
requires a
trials,
different approach and skill
including
level to
the
grab them
very
while staying
difficult
true to the
developer time
classic Crash
trials.
formula.
It took me, I think, around a week to beat those.
But the Platinum
What
Relics don't give
else?
you shit.
And yeah,
Aside
of
from
course,
your
the
own
story mode,
sadistic
100%.
satisfaction, the Platinum Relics do nothing for you at all. The gold ones are all that you need for completion, and for
And
the
yeah,
extra level unlocks,
like
you
he
only need
mentions,
the bare
the
minimum
Platinum
Sapphire
Relics
relics,
give you
so why
shit.
go for the Platinums?
Because I'm incomplete.
And the title of this video isn't lying. Over the last few days, I have spent hours on top of hours in some vain, pointless attempt to grab every single Platinum Time Trial relic in every Crash game that has them. Every single one. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in any game I've ever
considering
played.
some of the
Full
games
stop. You guys
have
think that
some,
playing the Insane Trilogy
Wrath of Cortex.
regularly is
I
the
think I
Dark
don't have
Souls
to
of
explain
platforming
why
games. You
that
don't
one
know
would be the
anything until
hardest,
you've
right?
seen what I've seen.
This game is a
Shut up
broken mess.
and stick it in
It's
your
just a pure
chin. And
truth.
just so I can get the entire internet off of my back before I'm called a filthy liar. This is my save file for Crash 1 Insane, and here are all 27 Platinum Relics. Here is my save file for Crash 2 Insane, and here are all 27 Platinum Relics. Here is my save file for Crash 3, and here are all 31 Platinum Relics. Here is my save file for Crash Team Racing, and here are all 18 Platinum Relics. Here is my save file for Wrath of Cortex, and here are all 30 Platinum Relics. Here is my save file for Crash Nitro Kart, and here are all 13 Platinum Relics. Here is my save file for the Huge
Yeah,
Adventure,
also
and
about
here are
the
all
kart
20
racer
Platinum
games like
Relics.
Crash
Here is my save
Racing.
file for
After I'm
N-Tranced,
done
and here are
with
all 24
FNAF World
Platinum
Refreshed,
Relics.
I
The
still have to
Crash
do that
Bandicoot
one.
GBA, for some reason, doesn't
It's
have
been a while
tally
since I
anywhere, but
played
trust
it, but
me,
I have to
here
do
are
this, and when I'm
3,
done, I
6,
will play
5,
on stream
12
the
out of
Colors
12
too.
Platinum Relics.
This,
It's a
trust
really
me,
good game. I did
totals up
play
to
it a little bit just to
202
try it. It's
Platinum
really
Relics.
good.
202 literal perfect run-throughs of stages as fast as possible while hitting every time-stopping crate, avoiding enemies and getting stuck indoors.
Yeah, that's why I never
do
bothered
not,
doing
I
the
repeat,
platinum
do
ones.
not recommend you doing this unless you have nothing better to do or have a YouTube show where you can show off to strangers.
Okay. Hold on. Should I do this? I'm gonna leave this question for now.
For me, this surpassed the definition of painful. In fact, at many points, I could swear that my thumbs were gonna fall off.
Oh, there you
It will
go.
take you so long to grab every Platinum Time Trial relic in the Crash series that you'll become a relic by the time you're done with it. This was me before I started making this video, and this was me after I finished it.
Are you feeling okay?
Don't even talk to me. And aside from talking to you all about my experience going through with this, I've got absolutely nothing to show for it. So I made myself a badge.
But I mean, there's only so many different ways I can
I mean,
say
that's a
over
great
and
way
over
to appreciate
again,
your own
"Getting
effort."
to Plats is diffy. So I won't go on about it in a general sense anymore. Instead, I thought it would be fun to go through miniature top 5s in no particular rating order for the hardest Platinum Time Trial relics to get in each and every game that has them. Not counting Crash Bash, by the way, because those relics aren't from doing any time trials, they don't use time crates, they take far too long to unlock, and because Crash Bash makes me want to die. They also didn't bother
I mean,
giving
yeah,
time trial
Crash
relics to
Bash
Crash
was not
Team
really
Racing,
that
which I
great.
really don't understand,
And yeah,
since it's already a racing game.
time
But
relics
there is
are,
actually
you know,
one hidden relic
not
in the
really
game that not many people know
time-based,
about.
kind
All
of.
you gotta do is play the game for 10 minutes, get bored of it, put it back on the shelf and leave it there for the rest of your life. After this, it eventually becomes a relic itself. It's also worth mentioning that for
Yeah,
this video, I'll be
is
using
it
the
true
remake
relic?
versions of Crash Team Racing and Crash 3, because they're more or less exactly the same thing as the originals and just look nicer.
yeah, aren't
Plus,
they
in some
harder on
cases,
this
they're even
version?
harder, so I wanted to
Oh,
challenge
yeah,
myself
yeah,
a
there it
little
is.
bit. And I'll only be covering the relics that you can get in the campaign modes of each game, and that can be added to your total Platinum Relic tally, which means that the brand new added levels to the Insane trilogy do count since they get added to your campaign total, but all of the
yeah,
new tracks
the
in Nitro
special
Fuel don't
ones.
count, because getting the relics there doesn't count towards anything.
Oh, wait,
doesn't
no,
get
I did
displayed
actually do
anywhere,
everything
and I
Nitro
have
Fueled.
no clue when they'll stop adding DLC
I
levels,
actually
so it's
didn't do
probably
all
best
of
that I
the
stick with the story mode ones that
Platinum
never
Relics
changed
on
from
all
PS1
of
to
the
PS4.
maps
Also, there's no point
besides
doing
the
Nitro
story
Kart remake
ones.
tracks in Nitro Fueled because I did them on the original game already.
And with that, in no particular order, let's
Well,
start
maybe
off
one
with
day.
the hardest Platinum Relics I had to get from Crash 1.
This game was pretty damn
What
hard
could
to
be
platinum all the way
difficult? I mean,
through. When it comes to
it is
Crash
a
1, whether
slow-paced
it's the original
one.
or the remake on the Insane trilogy, there's one thing that rings true about the entire game. It isn't supposed to be rushed. It's 4-play Bandicoot. Because of that, when Vicarious Visions added relics to the original Crash for the remake, just because they could, they didn't even bother to add the Crash Dash as a
I
power-up.
mean, one of the
because
temple
the
stages,
game is simply
possibly,
not built for it.
right?
However, this doesn't mean that the Platinum Relics still aren't an utter prick to grab, because with the game's platforming itself
Like the
being built
first
around
temple one,
patience,
possibly?
that
I mean,
doesn't
this one is
translate
a
to running
piece
through
of
the stages
shit
as
when you
fast as
play it
humanly
casually, so I'm guessing
As
you're
such,
not
one of the hardest
difficult.
platinums I tried to get in this game was with Sunset Vista.
Wait,
From
is
the
this-
very second you
oh, yeah,
start, you
there
need
it
to
is,
get the
yeah,
first
this-
jump
it's this
correct,
one.
or else... And it only gets worse
I
from
remember
there.
dying
In terms
on
of
this
raw
stage a lot.
platforming and nothing else, this stage in a normal setting isn't too taxing.
I
But
hate
where the
these
challenge
temple-like
comes from is
stages,
by
they're
rushing through it.
fucking
You'll find yourself
annoying.
needing to defy common sense and physics by jumping after being pushed away by protruding walls. You need to make sure that you time the start of your run perfectly so that you aren't stuck behind timed flaming torches. You need to make sure that you don't get hit at all so that you can invincible Aku Aku your way across the middle part of the level.
Yeah, and that's
Really
the type
important
of
because
shit
it
you
makes
have to deal
run
with
way faster
every
and be
Platinum
invulnerable
Relic.
to anything. You can't even afford to wait
That's
on
why
these
I I
platforms
never
because
even
that
bothered.
wastes too much time. So you better make sure the position they're in on your current run will be just right for you to hop, skip, and jump across them. Otherwise, you'll hop, skip, and suffocate. And these bats, sweet mother crackhead, these bats. Sometimes you can spin them all away, no issue, and sometimes you can't. No idea why, but it's enough to make a hernia pop out.
yeah,
And all of this
true.
wouldn't be
I
so
had to
bad if it
spawn
wasn't
all up
one of the
too.
longest damn levels of the game. It's not only a flawless run you need to commit to, but it has to be a marathon too. Luckily though, I've got so good at this stage by this point, I'm able to smash these completely useless boxes right here before the exit and still end up with the platinum. I'm
Yeah,
being way
definitely,
too
yeah.
cocky to talk about the first hardest level in this video. Generator Room begins with Cortex laughing so heavily at you that he's practically choking, and if you're going for the platinum here,
Cortex,
he has
please,
every
or you're
right
gonna
to
fucking
giggle at
choke
you.
to death.
The first two time crates are positioned underneath TNT
Oh my god.
crates that you have
Oh
to
yeah, the
avoid spinning.
TNT.
And if you
Oh, I
can get your
hate
head
this.
around that for the first goddamn boxes that need breaking, you'll then find yourself in a level with picky pixel perfect jumps galore, multiple moving platforms over bottomless pits,
Yeah,
and impossibly
yeah,
the hardest
I
aspect
can
of
see
the
why it's
stage,
very
the
difficult.
requirement to skip as much of these moving platform sequences as possible by jumping as early as possible on and off of them as early as possible in order to shave off the milliseconds you need in order to win. While
just
fighting
see-
with depth
you have
perception away
to
from
skip the
screen. Why do I
moving
feel the need to do
platforms
this?
to
Because the
save
end of the stage
time.
sees you moving on floating platforms that are so slow, I'm convinced they're
Bro,
clinically
what the
depressed. And
hell?
because of how much time this segment of the
That's
run
why
wastes,
this
you need
is.
to optimize
I'm
the
gonna
entire
repeat this
level
over and over.
beforehand
This is
so
why
that you're
I
safe
don't
enough
do
to then
Platinum
skip the
Relics.
final jump
These
and make it
things
safely to
are
the end. And that isn't
insane.
what I like to do in my generator rooms. Fumbling in the Dumbling is a pretty hard stage just to get through normally.
Oh
the
my
gimmick being that you are in the
God,
dark and need
no.
to smash Aku Aku crates in order to keep the path lit.
But
If you get hit just one
Yeah, if you
single
get hit,
time,
you lose
don't
all
just
the
lose
lights,
hit
which
points,
is
you
just
lose all the
impossible
light
to
as
play.
well. It doesn't matter how many Aku Aku crates you break, you are stuck in the dark. Combine that with the need to rush through this level, often making leaps of faith onto platforms that haven't come out of the dark yet, jumping onto spiders to make extremely tricky jumps, and trying to speed past swinging
Also, don't you
axes
have to
that sometimes
collect
come out of
like a
nowhere,
new mask
and you
quiz
end up
to
with a platinum relic
refresh,
that I'm
like
convinced
refresh
has
the
a sad
light?
face. The lab. Oh Lord Jesus, strangle a cat! The
Oh my God,
lab.
Jesus,
One of
leave
the
the
hardest levels in
cat,
the base
holy
game as
fuck.
it stands, trying to rush through this one is like trying to square dance on top of a kettle. It's horrible, and the main issue here is the
I
fact
mean,
that you
how
are pretty
would
much
be
required
square
to
dance
run
gonna
by everything
kettle?
in one go without stopping.
I mean,
but
if you do
only
the
when
kettle
being
on
able
the
to
ground,
start the
it
level
could
off
be
at such a
possible.
perfect time where you won't need to wait for these electric gates that if they touch you will zap your bat. And even if you time that start off so well that all the gates turn off by the time you reach them, meaning that you can get past them without stopping, that doesn't negate the trapdoors that open and close very quickly, the switches that you must hit in order to open doors,
Yeah,
otherwise
you have to
the
hit
fact that you
both,
can't
or
see
yeah.
behind the doors in order to plan your next move until it's too late, and the awkward jumps that you need to do around all the enemies, which if you time wrong can also lead to you getting electrocuted. Although, if you end up being in the stage so long that you could have kids with it, you could teach yourself to jump over the lower zaps of the electric gates at the right time. Stormy
It's,
Ascent.
I
Come on,
mean,
you all knew
it's
this was gonna be here.
inconsistent
The
in
level
my
that was supposed to
opinion.
be in the original PS1 game that was
And
taken
yeah,
out
Stormy
because it was
Ascent, of
too
course it's
hard.
there.
Yeah, pretty obvious choice now that I've said that, eh? I'm sure many of you would argue that Road to Nowhere or the High Road should have been one
Road
of the
to
harder
Nowhere
levels,
is
but to
actually
be honest,
easy,
I found
I
them
won't
not
lie.
that bad at all, because all you need to do is move forward and time your own jumps, and that is it really. Not move along,
I mean, yeah,
time
in
jumps,
time
land on
trial, all you have to
platforms that
study
move
your
faster than
jumps,
a
but
bullet
in
train.
casual
Optimize your
play,
path so
you
can
can
get to
just
managing
go
platforms
onto
at
the
right time
ropes
to
and
keep
skip
running,
the entire
avoid
thing.
enemies everywhere, get over spikes protected by stairs that turn into slides, jump off of spinning platforms to bounce on top of time crates and then land back on the spinning platforms, land on other platforms moving around in weird wavy patterns over spikes and bottomless pits, and while trying to keep yourself
Yeah,
alive
no wonder
for
this
nearly
level was
3
cut
minutes in
from
one
the
of
original.
longest stages in the entire game. Yeah, and you guys think a bridge is difficult?
Oh look! What's that hiding under the stairs? Why, it's Crash Bandicoot 2 Gringotts Steakhouse.
This game was just as hard to grab
A
the platinums on as
steakhouse?
Crash 1, but for different
This
reasons.
sounds
As
yummy.
you all know by now, the original Crash 2 changed and refined basically everything from Crash 1, from the save system to gem collecting and especially the controls, including introducing the use of a slide, crawl, and slide jump for extra height and distance to your jumps.
Oh
However,
yeah,
there was
the
still
sliding.
no relics or power-ups in the PS1 game, so the Insane Trilogy remake got the same treatment as Crash 1. But with one
I'll
key
be honest, I
difference,
hate
you
the
could
slide
now
jumping
use the
in the
crash dash from
originals.
Crash 3.
I
if you think that
prefer
being
the
able to
slide
run
jumping
faster makes getting
from
Platinum
the
Relics any
Crash
easier-
4. I can much more
Oh, I
easier
laugh like
position
that.
myself
The thing
than
is, just
with
like
the
with Crash
original
1, because
sliding.
Crash 2 was never
With the
designed from the ground
original,
up to
we
give players the
go
ability to
all
dash
over the
through
place.
them, the levels
Like,
themselves are also
it's
not
hard to
quite
control
built
it,
to be
at least
rough
for me.
either. It's not as bad as the original by a long way, but it's still very noticeable that you're dashing through the snow in a one-horse open coffin. So in many ways, despite the new moves you can play with that allow you to take ridiculous shortcuts, some of the Platinum Relics here can actually be harder to get than any of the other games because of the Crash Dash power-up added in that the original design of the levels never accounted for. But I still persisted.
I mean, yeah,
Here's
the
what I
Crash
thought were the
Dash
hardest
might
ones to
actually
get.
make things difficult on
Let's
this
start things
kind
off
of
tame
level
with a little
design.
trip to a simple stage known as Crash Crush. Well, it's simple enough on the base game at least. You run away from a boulder, but you can't
I can
run
already
away
see where
from
this is
yourself.
going.
When
The
you're over a
mines.
Platinum Relic though, Jesus H. Crisps. Where in the standard game you get just enough room to see what's coming ahead with the screen placement, with the Crash Dash, that fairness is thrown out of the window. You cannot see what's coming or react to it quick enough because of how fast you move. And if it isn't a bottomless pit or electric gate you need to get around, it's the one thing that will absolutely kill your platinum run time: the mines. You hit these mines and don't die.
Yeah, it's
but fly
annoying
into the
because,
air
like,
and
I mean,
stop
they
when you
don't
hit the
kill you,
floor
but
for a
they
second. This
just
means
stop
can't
you,
hit
and
a
that is, I
single
think,
one of
already
these
a
things, or else
lost
you won't
on.
make it to the end in time. And because
Yeah,
in the
it's a
game,
loss
the
on the
mines don't
Platinum
hurt
Relic.
you, they put dozens of them in the stage to avoid. If you're playing normally, they aren't a problem at all, just an annoyance that allows you to make a few mistakes. But running at blistering speeds, unable to see or guess where they'll appear from, or jump over them without seeing a pit they're sitting right next to, is infuriating. This level has no business being this difficult to platinum, but it is. So I'm gonna bitch. Pits right next to enemies that are invulnerable in certain states.
Oh,
ice
it's this
physics,
one.
rolling wheels of hate, awkward box
The ice
placement,
physics.
ice physics, wooden log traps that crush you instantly if you haven't optimized your run before that point, ice physics, icicles that hurt you if you aren't running perfectly
Yeah, I
fast
also
by
hate
them,
the
which
ice
isn't always
physics in this
guaranteed because
level.
of Long John Seal over here. Oh, and did I mention that this level has ice physics? Oh, and how about this for taking the biscuit? At the start of the stage, you have these weird looking platforms here that will take you up to the side scrolling parts of the levels, and in the Insane Trilogy, if you land anywhere other than dead center onto these platforms, you waste time as Crash automatically hops to the middle before the platform
Okay,
even
that's
starts
just
moving.
stuff.
So you need to make sure on every run that you land dead
That is
center
just
into this
dumb.
platform so it moves instantly. Why?
You know how in showbiz everybody says to each other, break a leg? Do you reckon in snowbiz they all say to each other, keel over and die?
Hanging out, unlike its namesake, isn't very relaxing and
Hey,
doesn't
we
lead
are
to
hanging
anything
out right
sexy.
now.
You begin having to deal with a windy sewage tunnel that the camera isn't fast enough to catch up with you on, meaning that you can't really see the rolling barrels of acid or the robots barreling towards you like they just saw the ice cream van. That isn't the worst of it though, because this level requires rushing as fast as possible during these monkey bar segments, which are unbearably awkward when you realize that in order to get the
I mean, did
platinum,
you stop?
you cannot
And-
stop once.
Oh,
during these
okay, never
moments.
mind.
See this? Yep, even if you stop for that long, you're screwed. So the very second you jump onto those metal grates, your positioning and timing needs
thought
to
you
be
didn't actually
absolute.
just,
During the monkey
wait
swinging and
for
before
like
you
a
reach the
second at
monkey swing.
least.
So if you have
No,
a
you actually
pinpoint
can't. That
perfect
is-
run in the platforming moments, but started the level at the incorrect millisecond, by the time you reach these bars, the timing of these robots is out of whack and you won't be able to rush by without stopping or dying.
Which, by the way, if you want the relic, you can't do.
And there's no Aku Aku Mask to sacrifice for this, until this part, where I then used it on the Nitro crates, making me unable to rush by the electrified water, meaning I
that's
wasted too
not
much
the
time and
platinum.
didn't get the platinum. Damn, this was a hard one.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Ruination
that's
makes
dumb.
this mini list, not because of the tricky platforming, the enemies, or the explosive crates, because truth be told, they aren't too difficult to get around with the incredibly blocky and straight level design. It makes it on this list for two reasons only. One, the timing of getting around the flaming tiki heads without stopping and waiting. God damn,
Oh,
it's so precise.
yeah.
They must have eaten a barbecue for lunch.
And two, very annoyingly, these singular three platforms.
Oh my
right
god,
here
I
near the
hate
end of the
those.
stage.
I remember
Trying to jump
falling
from
a
each of
lot
these
on
with
those.
slippery physics, multiple directions they move towards and away from the screen, and moving while they're off screen so that you have no idea where to position your next jump.
This is
until
the
it's
most
too late,
annoying part of
sucked
the level.
all the fun out of running this stage. You could have had the most flawless run and avoided all of the bastarding tiki head flames from pure luck, but just because you failed this bit near the ending, you've got to start the whole stage again. I don't think I need to explain why Totally Bare is on this list because,
Yeah, the
well,
darkness,
look at it,
and
but in case
you
you
need
can't
to use
see,
the
let me spell it
speed
out.
in right
You can't
moments.
see, but that
The
isn't
speed
the only
boost.
problem. If you want to play this totally normally, Totally Bare is a fine level, not too challenging, but the Platinum Relic requires you to use a dash ability as much as possible.
Yeah,
The dash lasts for about a
that's
second
kind of
and then takes
scarce
another second or
because
so to cool down before you can use
some
it again.
obstacles have
And
to
not
be
only is
cleared
level
with
pitch
the
black, meaning
dash.
You can't see what you're dashing into, but most of the level is filled with jumps that can only be cleared by performing performing a dash jump. So you need to decide in the middle of the dark if you're going to dash right now and then not have a dash ready for a jump that needs it, or don't dash right now and end up wasting too much time while you save the dashing only for the jumps that need it. Look, you're riding a baby polar bear towards a husk of nothing. I shouldn't need to explain why this is hard. I'm not in court.
This then moves us on to Crash 3, the game that introduced the time trial relics in the first place and gave us the Crash Dash for the first time.
Yeah, the original.
So logically, you'd think that because the game was built with the Crash Dash in mind, everything from this point onwards would be much easier.
No, it's not gonna be easier.
Wishful thinking!
To be fair though, in terms of difficulty, I'd say this was one of the easier ones to fully platinum, purely because it
Hello,
was
Sushi
designed to
Card.
be rushed to a certain extent. It's still not easy, god no, but compared to the others, it's not as bad. And by the way, again, yes, I am using the Insane Trilogy version of the game for the sake of consistency in this video. And if anything, because of some of the
Yeah,
physics and
it
vehicle
makes
control
some
changes in this
actually
version,
harder.
This is arguably the hardest way to get all the Platinum Relics anyway, so you're welcome, internet.
Oh, great! What's that? It's my ego.
Anyway, I think it's high time we get this list started. I'm ready for this. Let's go. Damn you. Fireman.
I guess they
High Time
really
sees you
like
travelling
committing
through the world
arson
of
in this
Arabian
place.
Nights as you hop along magic carpets that won't stay still to screw up your jumps, and you'll run straight into the jaws of fire, caused by the locals throwing all of their rubbish out of the windows. I guess this means they drink petroleum. These two elements are enough to mess up the most perfect of runs, and the irritating thing is that they occupy most of the stage, and are both built around a looping AI that no matter how hard you try, will never be exactly the same on each attempt, causing you to miss countless jumps.
Oh,
Or you
that's
can just fall
that's
through the
kind of
platforms
shit.
entirely,
Huh?
because who needs platforms in a platformer? And if you haven't got an Aku Aku
Of course,
Master
it's
Sacrifice for the fire
platforms.
pits, that means
You
you
can
are
just
stuck
jump on
waiting,
air.
which means that you need to put your controller down and start drinking battery acid. Hog Ride is a horrid
Who doesn't
level to
like
perfect for a Platinum Relic. Luckily, I've done it so many times now, it isn't too taxing.
I mean, little thing about me. When I was a little piece of shit, I ate batteries. No, it's not a joke. I ate fucking batteries. And now I'm here, putting up a show as a clown.
For me, but just getting to that point made me want to shave with a cactus. The level of practice you need to perform the utter absurd stipulation of getting a platinum on this stage is a joke. But not a funny joke, a joke that I hate so much that I have to write a letter of complaint to the BBC. What you need to do in Hog Ride to get a platinum relic is start boosting on the first speed pad you see, and then that's it, good luck. For the entire stage, you cannot lose this boost. And while you're boosting, your turning is so slow and heavy, even my knees think, damn, I wish I was as stiff as that. If the road were
My knees
empty,
are very
it would be
stiff.
fine, but it isn't. There are other racers looking to nudge into you and ruin the boost, ramps that if you go over will ruin
My
your
knees
boost,
are more
and police
stiff
cars that
than a
peacefully
piece of
sit there and
metal.
do nothing, which let's be honest is not realistic at all. The time crates as well, they all need to be broken to get the relic, but they're positioned in places where you need to preemptively turn into them and then preemptively turn out of them to slip through
Can I
the gaps
ask, why
that
is
are
police
just about
standing
as
in the middle
wide
of the
as your
road?
bike. And by the way, the edge of the road also ruins your boost, so Hog Ride in essence is a tightrope walk on a motorbike. Yeah, it doesn't even matter
Is
if
it
you
this
wait behind the
dangerous, like-
starting line for ages for all of the other races to leave
Can
the
police
track. You
in this
still
world
have
do
to deal
anything
with
they
some
want?
of the tightest, flawless driving you'll ever experience in any game. And yes, all of the future bike levels are a piece of cake compared to this one, because they have moments where keeping your boost going is impossible, and time crates that are in the air that you have to ramp jump over, which will ruin your boost. So you have no choice but to slow down, but can still get the platinum. Here though, nah, you gotta keep the boost going for the entire thing, and it's also harder on the Insane Trilogy than on the original game because of the control differences. Hog Ride? At this point, I'd prefer riding a hog, and I think Crash wants to ride one in another way.
I'm not gonna say anything, but I think you all know what I wanted to say.
Sphinxinator. What a boneheaded troll of a stage this is to Platinum. I mean, it starts with you needing to ignore the clock, head backwards, fire at the clock with your bazooka
yeah,
from
this
a
one, I
distance,
remember that
and then
one.
hit the crates that were originally behind you because now they've become time stoppers. After that, it's just you and the whim of the stage, subjecting you to whatever it feels like at whatever time it feels like. Sure, there are some skill-based elements you can master to cut down the seconds, like Death Tornado spin gliding across these moving platforms to skip them, or working out how to get by this awkward stack of TNT crates sandwiched between time time crates. Particularly annoying since you can't tank through here and need to save Aku Aku for the final invincibility stretch at the end of the level. But the rest of it, so Beck help me. Where do I begin? Fast-moving platforms that leave too big of a gap to skip quickly unless they're timed perfectly. Closing doors that stay shut for ages unless you time your run through
yeah,
perfectly.
this makes sense, right? It
Flamethrower
would
menus
be
left and
hard
right
to
pattern
do a
changes by the
platinum.
millisecond depending on how well your run has gone up to that point. Ice physics across oily floors that also have giant block traps falling from the ceiling. Most of the Platinum Relic here is just luck. So, good luck. Luckily, our next level doesn't rely on luck. But that doesn't make it good. Hot Cocoa is the most unique level in
Oh
the entire
yeah,
series
this
for one
one.
reason.
Yeah,
It's
this one is
non-linear.
a
You have
piece
to
of
search
shit.
for a nitro detonator box hidden in the level in order to clear the row of nitro crates blocking the exit, and Aku Aku isn't a thing that can cheese it for you. So you need to find
There's
the
a
best
glitch
possible
that
route
could
of
actually
hitting
skip you
enough
this
time crates
level.
on your way to the detonator and on your way back to end the level. You can't hit too many on the way there, or you'll have none on the way back. There's like 70 boxes that you can choose from, and multiple directions and angles you can take. There's a
Yeah,
lot
trying
to
to get
consider
all
when
the
picking the
boxes
most
in this
optimal
level
route for
was
you.
a
And this
hell.
wouldn't be so bad if the jet ski controls weren't as bad as my self-esteem. I've been over this before, but it bears repeating and grinding.
Don't worry,
into
Caddy,
dust.
I
The
also have
jet
a
ski
bad
controls
self-esteem.
Are the worst part of the Insane trilogy as a whole, and where they far from affect my love for the game as it stands. When trying to get the Platinum Relic for Hot Cocoa, it's borderline unplayable. You skim and slide over the water with the most slippery controls imaginable, and with a stupidly wide turning circle. So when your route involves being up close and personal with multiple mines or nitro crates, by the end of your run, you would have learnt a brand new language full of naughty words and phlegm. The time limit is so tight too, so you end up experimenting with different routes, which means different timings of different moving mines and different angles across different ramps, and it's so easy to miss every box or to hit the ones you really didn't want to hit. Hell, I could barely hit the time trial clock half the time before even starting the stage. Look at this. The best time I could get legitimately was right here, only overtaken by the glitch run I did ages ago where you could do this.
Yeah, this one.
And trust me, after only a few tries of Hot Cocoa, you will be tempted to do this, but if you want to see the route that I figured out legit, try copying it for yourself. It's right here.
So be honest,
Not that it will save you from the
I
controls, though,
wouldn't
but it's
even
something,
try.
right? Future Tense, the new level added into the Insane trilogy,
I would
made
just do the
entirely
glitch
from the ground
immediately.
up by Vicarious Visions. It's designed to be the hardest level in Crash 3, and it is the hardest level in Crash 3, which naturally makes it the hardest to speedrun. Future Tense is so difficult that it makes me want to run away and put up a load of future tense. It's got everything. Time crates hidden in death-defying places, moving platforms, spinning platforms, plasma gates that time themselves on and off, enemies that are briefly invulnerable and move in weird patterns, enemies that are briefly invulnerable and don't
Yeah,
move
I
in
never
weird
really
patterns,
played this level,
multiple missiles
now that
coming at
I
you from
think
the
about it.
foreground off screen, the need for you to not get hit at all so you can exploit Aku Aku invincibility halfway through the stage, platforms that become unusable at inconvenient times. This level has it all. It takes every single frustrating aspect of Platinum Relic running from every other classic Crash level and blends it together into a milkshake only good enough for an OAP. Just look at this. Look at this. They expect you to rush through this.
I think it's about time that we move on to Crash Team Racing now, and yes, just before you say anything, I will be using footage from the remake, just for consistency in this video and because it looks nicer. Oh, also,
Yeah,
it's the
I
same
missed
designed
the
tracks,
times
and
the
it's
Crash
got
Team
the
Racing
same
Nitro
time
Kart was
frame. It
updated.
is the same game, just it looks nicer and controls a little bit differently.
It was such
Plus,
a
with
fun
the
time
insane
playing this
speeds you
game.
can reach in this version, I think some of the relics are harder to get on PS4 anyway, because it's way too easy to totally overshoot jumps and fly over the boxes. I made getting the relics
Oh my god,
harder for
I
myself
remember
again.
how many
Yeah,
times I shot
know.
over the
No
boxes.
need to bow down, it's fine. I've got kids here that already do that for me.
This game, personally,
Then
ended
I
up
wish I
finding one of
could
the
also have
easiest
this
to
kind of
platinum,
thing.
which I really
Having
wasn't
some
expecting.
keys to
Still
clap
not
for me
easy,
would be
far
nice.
from it, but much
Wait,
easier
no,
than the
I-
other
wait,
games
wait,
by
no,
quite a
never
long
mind.
way. When Crash Team Racing originally rolled around, I don't think anybody expected them to bring the platforming collectathon elements of classic Crash over to the kart racing mechanics, but they damn well did. Not for the regular races, but for the extra challenge races you unlocked after earning the main game trophies. One of those challenges of which being the time trials, rewarding you with the same time trial relics as the previous games. The objective here is the same: rush through the track as fast as possible, but with three very important differences. Firstly, you don't unlock a new speed turbo power-up or anything, you just need to perfect the mechanic of drift boosting and use it as much as possible, which is kind of a pain when you need to aim accurately at the time crates while you're doing it. Secondly,
Yeah, that's the
time
most
crates
annoying
are
part.
everywhere, so many to the point meaning that you'll have to ignore some crates and save them for different routes on future laps. And thirdly, hitting all of the crates rewards you with a 10-second deduction, which is a massive bonus, and a brilliant reward for bringing in the smashing all boxes mechanic mechanic from the original games. With all of that being said though, there were a few tracks here I platinumed by complete accident, which was a good sign.
Yeah, I'm
There were one or
curious.
two stages where
Is
I
it
was
the
able to
tracks
miss
that
a
I had
box,
problems
reverse to
with
hit
would be the
box,
same for
and
him?
still win the platinum. And some tracks like Cortex Castle or Oxide
Sewer
Station were
Speedway
so
was
fun
one
to
of them I
steer
had
through,
problems.
ended up
I
earning the
remember
platinum
that
without
one.
even hitting
This
every
one was
time
annoying
crate,
as hell.
missing the 10-second deduction I figured that I would have needed. But that doesn't mean there aren't some bollock-ripping tracks though, because here they are. First off, Coco Park.
Oh yeah, Coco
You
Park.
left.
Oh
Coco
yeah,
Park is
how
without
could I
a doubt the
forget about
easiest
this
track in
one?
Crash Team Racing. It's big, wide, and has no sharp turns
That
at all. But
one
going for that
crate
Platinum
that
Relic
is
for me
in
proved
a
to be
such a
quite the tickler,
awkward
all because
place
of
where
one
if you
fatal
jump
flaw,
too
the
high
final
you miss
hill
it.
of the
You
core. The
jump
amount of times you will try and
you
fail to
barely
fly
jump
off
and
the
you
edge of
miss
this
it.
hill to
Like,
grab
it's
these
just
boxes
annoying.
to the
Yeah,
left
it's
is
easy too.
unfathomable. I've tried multiple speeds from multiple angles and it still seems like total luck to me. And this single Sekiro level jump hiding in the easiest course of the game isn't all. There's also time crates hidden behind the same hill on the ground
behind
that you will never be
the
able to
hill.
see or aim towards before jumping off of the hill that you will need to do to get the boost. You will drive by these things at least once, even if you have a rough idea where they'll be. And on an easy track, missing these really few boxes makes you feel like a complete idiot. And I'm not an idiot, because my mummy told me I wasn't. Engine's Lab. This is an awkward ass track to race in while
Really?
trying to
Engine's
boost constantly
Labs?
and hit all the time
I don't
crates.
remember I had
Mostly
much
due to the
problems with it.
endless 90-degree turns and crates hidden behind other corners that you can't quite see around until it's too late. Also, at the end of the lab, you get given a ton of 3-second crates all stacked up in a grid. And I, for the life of
If
me,
I
cannot
remember
figure out the
correctly,
best
all I
strategy
did
to
was
smash them all
collecting them
efficiently
at the
without
beginning
wasting
of the
time within
race.
first 2 laps. I wasn't able to get the platinum even by starting the race reversing into them. However you look at it, it's unintuitive and feels like a pointless hurdle that you can very easily mess up, costing you the platinum relic. I also really hate the way the PlayStation logo sticker throbs whenever you speed boost. It's very distracting and it made me fall off this end of the track at least 6 times. By the way, that's another thing. This track puts too many boxes right on the edge of bottomless pits that you cannot fall in, but still somehow you have to speed past. What is this? Blizzard Bluff is only hard to
It's not
platinum
really
for
that
one
difficult.
reason, and anybody who's played this stage knows what I'm about to say. 2 words. This
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand you, Caddy.
jump. Oh wait, that's 3. This is it. This is the only reason this stage is such a chore
The
to get the
fucking
platinum
snow
relic on.
physics.
I mean, I suppose
Oh, sorry,
the
ice
physics can be
physics.
kind of annoying, but those issues pale. They squeal in comparison to this bumbling piss stick of a jump right here. You not only have to be going as fast as humanly possible beforehand, which means not getting squashed by this stupid stone.
To be honest, the rock was the least
while
of my
controlling
concern
yourself on
during
ice
this
physics
track.
so that you don't
The
crash,
ice physics.
while hitting all of the time crates placed in such a way that I swear it was designed to point and laugh at me even when I got the jump correct. I'm playing as Gorilla Monkey Anus Face for this one. Papu Papu is many
I'm sorry,
things. He's
Monkey
a
Face
belly,
what?
He's a terrible boss fight, he's a laughing stock,
Papu want in action to lay boom down big.
and he's a stereotype. But he has his own racetrack in Crash Team Racing, one of my favourites in fact, Papu's Pyramid. But getting the Platinum Relic for it makes me want to snap my own neck while I'm screaming out loud. First of all, you've got to go around the track as fast as possible, which makes sense, it is a time trial.
I have
But if you go
problems from
too
it that I
fast,
think the
you'll fly
biggest
straight
problem-
over
yeah,
the
it's
only
those
chance
crates.
You have to hit certain time boxes. Secondly, you've got to perform a very awkward jump right off of the edge of the track in order to hit a clump of boxes, going against common sense, and with it being at a ridiculously weird angle that's very easy to mess up. Thirdly, this stage is guilty of the crime of placing some of these crates in the
yeah,
most
the
dangerous and
plants.
downright silly of places that are not only immensely
The amount of
difficult to hit
times
while
these
driving
plants
quickly,
ruined my
but even
run on
harder
those
to hit
Platinum
without
Relics
being
was
instantly killed
insane.
by the traps placed right next to them. Get out of my face and let me race before I fold you up and shove you into a green pipe, dick. You all saw this one coming, right? Sewer Speedway.
there it
I'd
is,
say
yep.
this level is the hardest one to Platinum Relic by far, and it's on the first world of the adventure mode, so well done to whoever chose to put it there. The easy culprit alone for
I think
why
this
this
one-
track is so
this one took me the
difficult
longest
is, of
to
course,
complete
that
for
horrible
Platinum.
shortcut jump that you have to land at least once to grab a load of hidden time crates. But that's not actually what I dislike about this level, believe it or not. Check it, I can perform this jump nearly every single time I try it. Once you know you need to take the ramp before it, dead straight before you jump after performing a boost from the inside of another pipe, it's really not an issue. What I have an issue with is the ditch-like level design that doesn't work too well with the camera and hides time crates
Yeah,
in its crevices
it
so
hides
well
the
that
crates
you will
too-
miss a
too
good
well,
handful of
yeah.
the crates on your first few attempts.
There's one at the
camera in
beginning of
this
the
track
track.
likes to screw
Yeah,
you
this
over
one.
more than anything else, actually. One of the first jumps hides a box on the ground after you land that you just have to guess the position of as you land. There are crates hidden behind the corners of some of the edges of the sewer pipes, and there's even these 3 crates here that can't all be hit on the 3 laps because of the shortcut lap you need to take that avoids them. So hitting all of these alone is enough of a pain. way. I could also complain about the giant toxic barrels that roll back and forth, just slowly enough that predicting what edge of the tunnel you need to be on is a pipe dream.
Toxic
But
barrels
more
are not
egregious to
really
me is
that
this
difficult.
box.
Oh yeah, this junk. This was the worst thing.
Box. Right here. Looks very easy to get, doesn't it? Well, you won't get it. Approach it fast, you miss. Approach it slowly, you miss. Approach it straight, you miss. Approach it crooked, you miss. Approach it while
Yeah,
jumping,
that was
you
me
miss.
doing
Approach
this
it while not
track.
jumping, you miss. To this day, I still have no idea how to hit this crate without the will of God, and whenever I do hit it successfully, that run is later ruined by the toxic barrels and other hidden boxes cowering in the curves of the half pipe that I can't quite see around.
And then after all of that, I had to Platinum Relic every level in Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex.
Oh
So my
no.
day was going great.
Wrath of Cortex is a very polished game that has no flaws whatsoever. You see these neon feather reflections? You see this falling down animation activating when being burned in lava? You see these floating eyes after a pitfall death? Yeah, all of that was clearly intentional. If you were to class this game
Yeah,
as
of
Crash
course,
4,
intentional.
which I suppose it is in Japan, then this is the official final Crash platformer with the exact same mechanics and gameplay structure as Crash 3. With that being said, getting the Platinums here was thoroughly unenjoyable, because the levels are either way too difficult or way too easy and totally boring. There's no in-between with Wrath of Khan, and there were tons of levels that I could have picked for this mini-list. I would say Smokey and the Bandicoot for the uncontrollably slippery Jeep controls, but the time limit for the Platinum is so generous you can basically rush through it while missing a ton of time
that's
frames.
a-
I would
yeah,
say Crash Royds
that's the
because of
point
how
of
quickly you
Cortex.
can
The
blow up.
Platinums
I would say
are
Avalanche
just-
for that nightmare sequence of speed
They are
snowboarding
literally
down a
between
hill,
both
totally unable
worlds.
to see which
It's
time
either
frames
too
you need to
easy
hit.
or it's
And I
either
would
too
say
hard.
Banzai Bonsai for the much heavier platforming style of Coco, making things just a little bit harder than necessary. But all of these things didn't end up making the cut. So these levels I picked will go to show you how buggered they are for getting a platinum.
Cortex!
The Gauntlet. I mean, the level is named after exactly
Okay,
what it
the
is. It's a
name already
gauntlet,
suggests
a
it's a
giant trial
pain.
of seemingly endless obstacles, enemies, and death traps that will turn you bald. The timings of the obstacles are annoying time wasters when you approach them wrong. You need to keep as many Aku Aku masks on you as possible to
Okay,
survive
what
some of
the
the
heck
enemy
is
attacks when
this?
you
How are
unable
you
to
supposed to
defend
get out of
yourself, and
this?
there's no feeling quite like making it to the very last corner of the gauntlet, only to press yourself into a pancake.
Cortex!
Coral Canyon, a water level in a game where all of the water levels suck the life out of me. I majorly dislike the water levels in Wrath of Cortex for how overly spacious everything is, and yet despite that, how suddenly enemies and instant death traps can appear because they come from the other end of the screen that isn't even visible because the level is so
yeah,
huge.
that's-
and that's
that's
the biggest
annoying.
problem here, trying to rush these levels with enemies appearing from thin air, thin water, while trying to figure out where the hell the time crates even are because you don't get enough of a view of the level on a single screen. Oh, did I also mention that most of this level takes place in a submarine that really needs to go on a diet? In this thing, you don't only move like a tank, but you are
Why
a
does it
huge
explode so
target.
easily?
You barely attack fast enough to react to the hundreds of enemies, and the metal casing gets completely obliterated if you so much as touch a goldfish. That, and here's a bugger, when you're out of the sub, did you know that the fast swim move you have, you know, to fast swim, doesn't get you the Platinum Relic by default? No,
What?
because you need to know to use the Death Tornado spin move. Yeah, underwater, which you can't do in any other Crash game. So if this was the quickest way to move in the
Okay,
first
that's
place, why
weird.
give us a fast swimming button? Why is steering during the spin like turning an oven dial? Why do we even need a sub if we're more safe and deadly being out in the open? If this is Coral Canyon, then where did the coral go?
Cortex!
Yeah, where is the
Eskimo Roll's
coin?
Platinum Relic is best described as being the same thing that Crash is rolling around in. A massive lumpy ball. I think I'm one of the few people who will defend the ball rolling stages in Wrath of Cortex
I also
until
defend
I die.
those.
I think they're great
These are
fun. But
actually
when
pretty
thrown
fun
into level
levels.
design like this that you have no choice but to speed through, it all becomes wretched. This is easily the most perilous ball rolling stage in the game and is desperate at every opportunity for you to lose control of yourself and fly directly into a conveniently placed Bandicoot rolling ball vehicle shaped hole, which ends up happening all the time, not counting the times that you're trying to be careful and get sucked into the hole's irresistible grasp. Oh, and who's this? Why, it's Dingodile firing randomly in scattered patterns right where you need to be. And since you have to rush this stage,
Wait,
if
is
he's
that
firing
level
at you
where
as you roll
it
by,
uses
you'll
the
end up turning your
main
nice
Crash
ball into a
enemies
hard-boiled egg.
very
Oh look, it's
badly?
Tiny Tiger as well. What
Oh,
the
yeah,
hell are you
yeah,
gonna do
there
to
it
me
is.
after all the previous games? Oh god, don't nudge me. That's my one weakness.
Cortex!
Here we are attempting a platinum rush in Gold
Not
Rush,
the
one of the
nudgy
longest
nudgy.
damn stages in all of Crash 4, which in itself is already a problem if you fail on any one of the number of tricky platforming segments and the doomsday obstacles in your way because you've got a marathon of a stage to get back through in order to try again. It also has some very Interesting physics, but the biggest flick in the nuts when it comes to Gold Rush are the utterly absurd stipulations you must comply to in order to make the Platinum Relic work. You see these areas here? Taking into account that this happens to you if you fall from the monkey bars, do you think that means that this is the fastest way you have to get around them? No!
There's
in fact,
no
the
way,
game
right?
expects you to figure out that you need to glitch by the out-of-bound areas with post-hit invincibility from Aku Aku.
I'm sorry, what? How the fuck people figured it out?
In order to walk on areas usually impossible to reach so that you can skip the monkey bars. This is the only stage that allows you to do this with pits that could usually kill you even if you've got an invincible Aku Aku mask on.
How dare you do that, Crash? This is a Christian channel!
Cortex!
For me, Droid Void was pure misery to try and Platinum Relic because it has everything I hate in a difficult time trial. A needless giant target vehicle type that is weaker than a flip-flop.
Oh yeah,
a
the
preposterous
giant
stage
target
length,
thing again.
timed obstacles that will slow you down or kill you if you don't figure out how they work. Long and horrifically boring parts that you find yourself redoing over and over again. Crash, how are you so slow on the monkey bars when your body is nothing but one giant peck? This monkey bar intro though is the cherry on top of the cake of lies.
Okay, I'll be honest, who thought that this speed is reasonable? Like, what I see here is that they are trying to go for realism. In a Crash Bandicoot game, what is wrong with those
Who
developers?
decided this was an acceptable speed of movement, even for the regular game? It takes you nearly a minute at the start of every attempt just to get to the actual challenging parts of the platforming, by which time you die trying to learn it, and so then you're right back at the start again. And the tricky platforming is just one thing. This mech that Crash rides, where totally fine in the standard game, is hellish to use in a platinum run, mostly due to the Wumper Cannon never going off when you need it to for no reason whatsoever. You can't skip these parts. You need to blow the
Okay,
crates
who
up,
was the
but I
programmer
rarely
of this
can.
game?
What is
Hello?
this? You hold the button to aim and let go of the button to fire. Why am I dropping the gun and not firing it, Rash? Taking that aside though, like I mentioned, you're a huge target that's about as brittle as a champagne flute. Your jump from a standstill is painfully slow, and you
Me dropping a Lego figure be like,
need an Aku Aku hit point to skip this enemy, or the platinum isn't yours.
I hated every waking second I spent in Droid Void.
oh yeah, this
The time
one.
I spent in Crash Nitro Kart.
And may I just say that Crash Nitro Kart is one of the most flawless games I've ever played.
Oh,
I have no
I
doubt
actually never
in
got
my
any
mind
glitches
that
while
this was one
playing
of the
this on the
worst
emulator.
games to platinum every level on. At its release, Crash Nitro Kart was met with mixed reception, and I'll tell you straight away why that is. The controls feel like you just ran over a deer. Okay, it's not that bad, I'm exaggerating,
Yeah, I agree.
it's fine, but it's
The
not
controls
a
are
satisfying game to
actually-
race in when
like, it
compared to
feels so
CTR
slow.
or even Mario Kart. There's no bounce, no sense of speed, strangely restrictive turning, and the new drift mechanic of giving you more speed the closer you let the drift go before backfiring is nice and all, but for all the platinums, you had better make damn sure that all of your drift boosts are of the last minute perfect type, which are very easy to mess up, or else you're not getting the platinum. Combined with difficult steering even with the best steering character on your team, and you'll be missing boxes
Wait,
all
that
the
is the
time,
best steering
missing
character.
shortcuts with boxes in them all the time. So with all of this being said, most of the
That is the
levels were
character with the
maddeningly
highest
difficult for the exact
steering
same
staff,
reasons.
and it
But what
steers
did I
like
think about the
it's a
hardest
fucking
ones?
folding chair.
This level is called and it has multiple traps that move very quickly and can't touch you once, boxes placed over the edges of the bottomless pits that you have to steer away from the track to reach and then back onto the track again just in the right amount of time. There's an ending level squashing trap that you can activate yourself accidentally, and it's extremely long, making any mistake, especially on the last lap, extra annoying. But I didn't
Yeah, I
find it anywhere
didn't do
near
the
as annoying
platinums
as
and the Nitro
barren
Fuel for these maps.
ruins. As a whole, the track and box placements within it
Ah,
aren't really the issue. It's
oh,
standard
I think I
stuff.
can
What
get it
becomes a
why.
problem is the aforementioned control style
That
having
one
the right
shortcut,
good
isn't
steam
it?
in your face while you're trying to hit some of the trickier ones. Keeping your speed up and steering correctly while avoiding these tiny bumps in the road is pretty aggravating. But the worst offender of bump placement in a kart racer of all time happens at the very end of this lap, where you're
Yeah, this
required
one.
at max possible speed
This
to jump
shortcut
from
is
here, land
as
at the
annoying
correct
as
spot,
it's in the
and activate a
original. Like,
successive
I mean,
string of perfect
this
boosts
shortcut in
while
Nitro Fuel,
steering around this bump that can mess the
this
entire
shortcut
pattern
in
up,
Nitro Fuel is
while
as
then
annoying
performing
as it's in
successful
the
ramp jump
original.
from another bump to not only
The
land
amount of
into the
times I
shortcut,
missed
but
this
hit all the
jump in a
boxes
time
contained
trial,
within
it's
it. If one
insane.
of these things isn't done right, you aren't making this jump, and the retries I have for it it are staggering. I even tried cheating it, I got so frustrated, but that ended up wasting more time than saving it, so I suppose you can say now that my day has been barren ruined. Deep sea driving is hard for one reason and one reason only. It isn't the shortcuts, it isn't the box locations, it isn't the slowing down
The
mud
saws,
sections.
right?
It's these fan blades. They're way too big,
Oh,
they're
fan
way
blades,
too
yeah.
fast, there's way too many of them. You can't get touched by them once on all 3 laps, and I think they should deep sea die in a hole. This is a shock, isn't it? The final race course is one of the
Oh, yeah,
hardest to platinum.
That's not a
Well, it
shocker.
is, obviously. Hyperspaceway is a crazy track that has many shifts in course design during a single lap. It's got the most traps, it's got the most pitfalls, it's got the tightest turns, it's got the longest laps, making even the smallest mistake make me feel sick at the thought of trying again, and it has without a doubt the hardest shortcut in the whole game to get right. This one requires constant
Yeah, you
boosting
need
and
the
absolute
constant
speed
boosting
in
to
order
actually
clear the
perform
gap.
it.
And there's even mud on the track right before the biggest gap to slow you down even if you are boosting. Oh, but if you go too fast before reaching the shortcut that you need to go fast on, you could just hop your way over the boxes you need to break like a cute little bunny that I now want to hunt down and skin. None of these tracks, though, compare even slightly
we love
to
the physics of
mental
this game.
damage that Jungle Boogie gave to me. This is one
Jungle
of the first
Boogie?
levels of the game, so how could it possibly be this bad? Oh,
Oh, is it the first
My
shortcut,
God,
maybe?
It is. In order to platinum Jungle, you are required to play the stage perfectly. No mistakes in the slightest. If you stop boosting at any point, you've lost. And the biggest joke added into the track is actually right
Yeah,
at the
there
very
it is.
beginning, where
This
I
one.
swear to Christ, it doesn't matter what speed you take this jump at, or what angle, or if you boost before it, or if you don't boost before it. It is simply pure luck whether or not you will even jump at all and make it across this gap. Then after that, the same applies for the
Yeah,
shortcut
even in
jump.
Nitro
It
Field,
sometimes
that
works,
shortcut is
and
annoying.
sometimes just doesn't. And even if you do
Yeah,
make
the
it,
second
you
one that
don't
is
boost
right
during
here
the
is actually pretty
shortcut,
easy in
and
Nitro
you hit
Field.
the time crate on the only chance you have to hit it during the boost. You've got to nail these 2 pixel perfect jumps all over again because you just lost the platinum and need to start again. And this isn't even mentioning the extremely cramped track design compared to every other course, which loves to make some of the boxes way too difficult to hit with your stiff driving controls anyway. By the time I was done with this track, I was convinced that my house was for dinner.
Jesus, we're nearly there. On to the Crash games on GBA now. Look, it's Crash Bandicoot XS. Crash
Oh,
Bandicoot
it's this
Xylophone
one.
Saxophone.
Crash XS, or Crash the Huge Adventure in the USA, is a game I hold very fond memories of from when I was a kid, playing it for hours constantly whenever I was on
Yeah,
a long
that is
car
the
journey
one
or
I
keeping to
don't
myself
play
in the
on
living room
any
while my parents
emulators.
watched TV. So it only seems appropriate to ruin those happy memories with this being on equal footing with Crash 4 and Crash Nitro Kart as the hardest damn game to get the Platinum Relics on. I mean, my lord! Luckily, most of my gripes with the 5 hardest stages are applicable across the board. When trying to rush through these levels, the amount of screen that you can see whenever you're required to go higher or lower into a level makes landing on platforms downright guesswork. And despite being mostly the same kind of platforming in terms of handling from the PS1 side scrolling, the sliding and slide jumps are not the most responsive in this game, which will cause you the most deaths out of any other Crash game when timing
I mean,
any
trying
and
to
all
actually
jumps.
go
But that's just how I
around
felt
this
about the whole
map
thing. So
while I
what
have
was the
better
worst
invisibility
individual
is kind of
Ace
shit, I
of
won't lie.
Space. As a general rule, the space levels in this game are the trickiest, for the guesswork on safe platforms to land on, the lack of sound cues when trying to time enemy attacks, and briefly invulnerable hazards, not to mention some incredibly precise jumps that you have to nail as quick as possible, and with those lovely delayed inputs when it comes to slide jumping. There's nothing particularly stand out about this level compared to the others in the game, it's just a great conglomeration of all the issues the base game has, that are now only a major problem because you're crash dashing through it. However, this doesn't apply to No Fly Zone. And the funny thing about No Fly Zone
Because
is
if
that
why?
you're flying in it. And the funny
Yeah.
thing about No Fly Zone is that rushing it is basically impossible since it's an auto-scroller away from the screen. You can only go as fast as the level lets you, so that must make it easy, right? Just hit all of the easy boxes, make sure your health doesn't drop, and the platinum is yours. Well, no! Because this stage is split up by 3 mini-bosses. These blimps. And in order to get the platinum, you need to make sure that
Oh,
every
yeah,
single
Phil,
shot you
that
take lands on the
center.
weak point of these blimps. If more than maybe 2 or 3 shots don't land in the entire stage in total, you've lost. And trying to
Okay,
keep
that's
that
kind
accurate
of
with
dumb.
a GBA D-pad while missiles get in your way, while the blimp does what it shouldn't be able to do and moves quickly, all of this will really end up getting on
Wait,
your
why does
tats.
that
It's
blimp
very
move
hard
so
to take down
quickly? It
these
makes
3 in
no
a row without
sense.
missing a single hit. But you know, it's possible. So get God. Snow Job is the grossest name for a level I've ever heard, and an absolute nightmare to get the Platinum Relic on for more reasons than the universal ones when it comes to how Crash XS handles. Because now you have to deal with a lot of extremely fast ice physics colliding with the unresponsive slide jumping, and even more displeasingly, a giant, endless, downright cruel section of you needing to run towards
wait
the
a
camera
minute, you
on the
can't
back of a
even
polar
see
bear
anything.
while holding the boost button. While the game throws a nuclear assault of insta-kill obstacles and enemies your way that you will not see until it's already too late. The GBA just can't keep up with you, and it's absolutely fine when running at a normal pace, but while boosting, it's practically unplayable. Where am I
Yeah,
going?
you have to
Where will the next
basically
time
remember
crates
the
be? What's gonna
track.
kill me in the next millisecond, and why does it last so agonizingly long? I reckon by the time it takes you just to get by this one section of the level, you could have had a snow job of your own. The final countdown. It's the final level of the game, so it's meant to be the hardest. It's in space, and you all know why that's an issue from Ace
Yeah,
of Space.
that's
all I
no
really need to
surprising,
say.
it is the
Enemies
hardest.
everywhere, you can't see where you're landing, platforms that drop you, nitro crates everywhere, it's a really long level. I've got nothing more to add. It's just unpleasant to get the platinum on. But not as unpleasant for me as the second grossest name for a level I've ever heard right after Snow Job, Drip Drip Drip, which will either make you think of something very naughty or a bad tribute
Yeah,
act to
I
Wet,
just
Wet,
did.
Wet. Getting a platinum in this stage, this dirty dishwater of a stage, was easily one of the least enjoyable things I've ever done in a Crash game, and why it was so unenjoyable was because, as a whole, it's not that difficult, so I felt like a moron every time I restarted. But the amount of restarts, my god, you'd never believe the amount of my restarts, all because of one thing. One seemingly easy and insignificant thing that ended up giving me recurring nightmares for days after getting the relic. The frogs. These frogs are the worst enemy in any Crash game, hands down, all of them. Because even if you know
What's
they're
the
coming, even
frogs?
if you memorize every location of them, they will kill you if their stomachs so much as look at you a little bit funny. It doesn't even matter if you're
Aren't
spinning while they land on
they
you.
remind
Their
me of
stomachs are
those
just that
lizards
hinge
from
that
Crash
can
1.
barely stand to touch them. And when rushing from left to right on a screen crunch GBA
They're also very
game,
annoying
you'll
that
never
they
see
jump
them leaping
around.
from off camera until you've already been murdered by them. Sometimes jumping in advance doesn't even help because you could jump straight into their stomachs and die that way in midair. Plus, the stage spams them repeatedly throughout the whole
Why
runtime.
does this
And
stage
they're
have so
just
many
frogs?
frogs?
They're frogs in a flat and boring
Do
sewer
they have
stage. It
mitosis
shouldn't be
or
this
what?
hard, and it does nothing but make me feel stupid for dying on it so many times.
So maybe it's about time I play another game that will surely calm me down. And it's on the GBA, which means it has exactly the same control problems as the
Oh,
last
no.
game, and excuse me while I banish this game to the depths of my shorts.
Ugh, this video is too long, man. Crash N-Tranced is the sequel to Crash XS, also on the Game Boy Advance, and surprise, surprise, comes bundled with exactly
It
the same
has the
issues
same
as the previous
problems,
game when
right?
it comes to Platinum Relics. But it also has two new power-ups that work great in the standard game, but when put into the time trials, cause nothing but problems. Get a load of this. If you hold L and press R, you do a super slide, an uncontrollably fast slide that will make you slide off more ledges than anything else. If you hold L and press jump while standing still,
Wait.
you do a super jump. A
They are on the
stupidly high
same
jump, for
button.
sure, but one that goes so high that you can't see where you're gonna go, can't see where you're gonna land, doesn't protect you from whatever's above you, and gives you practically no distance. What button do you think you have to hold to do the crash dash? L. So if you're dashing
Yeah,
and
they are the
stopping your
same
track
fucking
for a
button, that
split
is so
second before
dumb.
committing to a jump, if you're still holding the dash button ready to start running again, you'll instead rocket into the air and escape the atmosphere.
Oh, wow, this is a great angle.
Or on the other hand, if you need to slide during
Great
the
angle
dash,
of
you
what?
won't do the normal slide. You'll instead do the super slide because you're already holding the dash button to run fast. It's confusing, it's disorientating, and some part of me tells me that the devs realized these flaws because getting the platinums here as a whole wasn't actually that bad at all. The time limits were really generous, so I think they must have felt a bit guilty. Saying that, there were still some bastard levels though, so let's dive into them. Rocks can roll. Oh my, they certainly
Oh,
can.
I didn't
Rocks
know.
can roll indeed. Right off the edge of the level. I'm gonna defend these levels for a second as well. Yes, I like them. Not as much as the Wrath of Cortex ones, but for isometric ball rolling on a GBA, this felt really satisfying to get right. You can even hold A to use it as a brake to get more control back. This mechanic in itself makes these stages 10 times more playable and
Then
helps out a
the
lot with the time
T-pose
trials since
of
they stop you
dominance.
wonderfully from flying off of the edge if you think you are rolling too fast. What I have a problem with when trying to rush these stages is,
My
well,
man is
everything
asserting
else. Aiming at
dominance
time
while
crates moving at a million miles an
rolling
hour is a
around.
pain,
That
rolling
is so
barrels hidden behind
just
the
different
isometric
kind
view
of
a half
level
pipe are a pain,
of
insta-kill
absolute
electric
alpha.
gates that don't have a clear pattern on when they turn on or off are a pain, slightly wonky hit detection is a pain, the occasional slowdown moment is a pain. Whatever way you look at it, this level is a pain. Runaway
Like my
Rug is
life.
an appropriate name for this level because oopsie, the rug ran away from your feet, you've lost. It's got all the problems with the controls I've already mentioned from the first GBA game, but now with those lovely power-ups activating when you really don't want them to. Next! Hop-in coffins. We have all the same problems with the first GBA game, but now with those lovely power-ups activating when you really don't want them to. And
So
now
it's
with
basically
added
hard
time
because of
switch
those
doors
stupid
that cancel
power-ups,
out your
huh?
jump off of them if you don't press them properly, and ice physics. Ice physics with an accidental super slide. Surely that's just asking for a nasty bit of criticism. Oh look, another Egyptian level. Slip and sliding sphincter. I mean, this just sums up everything without me needing to explain anything else, right? The Platinum Relic for the first level of the game, Island Intro, I'm convinced was put there for a joke. Yes,
Wait,
the
the
first
first
level
level?
really is that difficult. Wanna know why? Just watch. Did that run seem pretty seamless? Like it couldn't be improved? Well, according to the game, it could, because I just achieved a gold relic time. Yes, to platinum the first level of Crash 2 N-Tranced, you need to be so perfect that you're literally shaving off microseconds with each attempt you try. The level isn't long, the level isn't hard, but getting that platinum took me more retries than any other level in the
That's
entire
actually kinda
game.
insane.
It makes me feel
What
like
the hell?
Coco's angry monobrow.
And finally, it is Crash Nitro Kart on the GBA, which is not a port from the PS2 version because the GBA could not handle
Wait,
that.
the
So instead,
GBA
it's
one
completely
has
different
Platinum
tracks and
Relics?
completely different
Oh yeah, wait,
controls than
it
the
does.
PS2 version, which means that technically I have to get all of the relics on this version of the game as well.
It did show it at the beginning. So basically every single
Okay,
one...
just to be serious for a second, I actually can't pick any one of these stages as the hardest because, to be completely honest, they're all basically the same in terms of challenge, and that challenge isn't very high to begin with. As great as this game is, the tracks
Oh,
are
okay,
of
never
course
mind
limited
then.
due to the GBA, so aside from different cosmetics and a few left to right turns that are different, all the races here feel practically the same, especially when it comes to relic races, because the boxes can't be placed anywhere that created to begin with, and shortcuts aren't really a thing in this game. All of this considered means that Nitro Kart GBA was the easiest game to platinum for me by a long way, and picking the 5 hardest levels just seemed somewhat impossible because it's like comparing this flat square and this flat rectangle in the original Mario Kart. Like, aside from extremely minor differences, they're all basically the same track, and whenever something stands out, it's usually extremely mundane. Oh my god, it's a gap! Nothing more to
Oh,
say. This one was
it's
a
a
piece of cake
gap.
to complete on platinum.
There
and
is
if you
no
haven't tried
way.
this game out
A
even
gap
regularly,
in
I
my
recommend
cool
it. It's really
GBA
good. Just don't
game?
pick a heavy speed character for the relic races because they're a bit lumpy-dumpy and love to miss all of the boxes. Oh my god, is that a tight corner?
That's it! 202 Platinum Relics in the bag! My Crash Love quota for this year is completely full. I'm done. No more. Bye, everybody. I'm gonna go and get some fresh air after that. Oh, I can't. The world
You know
is
the
still
bricks.
bricks, so I guess I'll just fall asleep right here. Thank you for watching the dumbest and most painful video I ever made, and in case you were wondering about my top 5 overall hardest relics to get, I'll give you a quick list. Jungle Boogie, Leave Me Alone, Don't Care, Shut Up I'm Tired, and I'm never gonna do anything like this ever again. Nurse, give me my sedatives!
Subscribe and hit that bell.
Please subscribe to Caddy. He's amazing.